I like to think that we're in a kind of a constitutional crisis, and this was all deliberately set up by the Democrats, at least in my personal opinion. I a lot has happened over this whole, well, to be honest, this whole entire month, which has resulted in this. We already saw how Bill Barr was testified before Congress, or at least a committee. I don't recall what the name of the committee was, but it was headed by Bill Nadler, and well, they just tried to discredit him in any kind of way, or at least the Democrats on that committee. And they even went so far as to have a vote to try to hold him in contempt just because he was tired of testifying over the same issue again and again and again, despite having done so many times before. And that's just the tip of the iceberg here. Just a week ago, many of the states that Trump apparently did not win were actually petitioning to have their own state ballots not have his name for the 2020 elections, unless he releases his tax returns. That is blackmail, complete and total blackmail. There's nothing you can say about that would make me change my mind. Total blackmail, because if there's something that I like to think, something that I kind of would have a problem with, especially when it comes to like games, which I sometimes play on my play online and stuff. It would be someone having an unfair advantage over me, over sort of a situation, and I mean kind of like in a board game, or they simply manage to start a specific point, where they basically can do everything possible, and I can't, simply despite the fact that we should be on a similar state. That's kind of what's been going on here, because with the Democrats actually petitioning these bills, this is just giving the Democrats an advantage in the elections. Now, I bet they're going to say that you can still write Donald Trump's name on the ballot. Yeah, you can do that for pretty much every single person. But here's the thing: the Republicans and the Democrats are both heavy major parties, and losing one just taking one off of the ballot gives the advantage to the other, because you already know who the person is. You already know who they lean towards, and that's who you are obviously going to vote for. Hell, a lot of times, a lot of people tend to vote in terms of political party, and just simply seeing that there's a person with a D or an R would actually cause that to influence the elections. Now, removing a Republican nominee, which is completely, again, it just gives an totally unfair advantage to the Democrats when it comes to elections, completely influencing the popular vote, which is kind of ironic because they have been trying to get Trump over this whole idea of the Mueller reports, over how he may be colluding with the Russians, despite the fact that the Mueller report has said that he has not colluded with any foreign entities. They just can't stop doing this, and that's just one thing that I'm talking that is kind of a big issue here. Just today, Nadler, the same person who I talked about, who was the head of that one committee that interviewed Attorney General Barr, actually introduced a bill that would freeze the statute of limitations for the president over possible crimes. Now, obviously, this is a direct attack on Donald Trump. Completely obvious. I mean, they're not really hiding it at this point. Even Nancy Pelosi has said that she's that Donald Trump has been that is considered impeachable because he's been proving that every single day, whatever the hell that means. I mean, even is Donald Trump really worth destroying our republic? I was about to say democracy, but no, we're not a democracy. But is it worth destroying our republic, our society, our rights? Is it worth that? No, it's not. Now, I want to explain to you how freezing the statute of limitations is a very big issue here, because the statute of limitations guarantees reserved rights for the accused. It's a very big deal when it comes to court cases. I believe there's actually a certain some form of that when it comes to what was it? Spouse privilege, but I'm not an attorney, so don't take my word for that. But anyway, to get a little bit more into the idea of statute of limitations, let me just look it up in here so that that way we can better understand the idea. This noun in law, a statute prescribing a period of limitation of the bringing of certain kinds of legal action. And and the president is specifically, due to him being the head of state and the head of government, is resolved from being charged with any certain crimes. But again, it's kind of there are some restrictions to that role, like say impeachment issues, which so far there hasn't been an issue with. He hasn't broken any sort of law that I know of. No constitutional law that I know of that he's broken. So this is all just an attack on Donald Trump. And if somehow Congress would support this bill and pass it forward, it would just set up so many charges and accusations against the president that it would just derail government itself and just completely ruin Donald Trump's presidency. I mean, that's all this is. It's just an effort to destroy the president, all because they can't get over the 2016 election. And apparently, if they just keep this up, Donald Trump is going to become president. I mean, I think he's going to be president either way. That's my honest opinion. But we'll have to wait until 2020 to see where that goes. But again, this is just trampling on the rights of the accused. The freezing of the statute of limitations, when it hits the president, what is that going to do for everyday Americans? Because as far as I know about this specific bill, this may just talk about the presidents, but it may also, in effect, actually influence law practice across the United States. You can simply be charged with any known crime that may have happened at any point in time in life. At any point in time. And you can be just accused and sent to court over that. Despite the fact that those limitations, and that it's been a certain number of years since that happened. So, yeah, you're screwed either way. I just find this completely ironic. This entire debacle from the Democrats. They say they're trying to preserve our democracy. They're trying to preserve our democracy by taking away our rights and liberties. By constantly attacking the president through legislative means. Through abusing their own powers. It's really ironic. It's completely ironic. And it's really sad to see how this is going. Now, I do not believe that that either the blue states would get what they want in terms of getting Trump off the ballot, or the statute of limitations to actually pass it in Congress. I mean, after all, the Republicans have control over the Senate, and a few of the states have actually failed to actually get the number of votes needed to actually say they plan on actually voting for this bill. So it's going to be a major. It's gonna be a major issue either way, though, because this is affecting us as a constitutional republic. These rights and these issues that we kind of have taken for granted are definitely being tested. Like I said before, the statute of limitations and just the availability of being on the ballot. All of this is being tested. And I think it's important for everyone, not just my viewers and subscribers, but all the American people to understand what is at stake here. I know this is not likely to actually occur, but it's important that we remain vigilant in preserving our freedoms and rights. Because we're just one generation away from turning to tyranny. My name is Noah, me and all the Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, share it, and subscribe. Thank you.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains.